No sound detected.
Nice.
Auto said. I'm not talking. Waiting on everybody else. Blacklight, did you like the post I made with the girls coming out?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I saw that today. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah. I'm surprised I got runway to do that.
Nice. I also love like the rainbow colored goo that came with her.
Yeah. That's just my style. I like that. I like the wildness.
Same.
Gotta be wild. Which one? Oh, your music video? You're welcome.
I appreciate it too.
Yeah. I made Bone Daddy a music video. It took a while. It was like almost 4 minutes long. So, and then Scully, the one that was talking. I'm gonna make her one too.
Yes. Got 4 new songs today, so I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do,
Done with
but
that one that's that Bish one.
you guys love that one. Yeah, you were right. You called it.
But you can pick, like I said, just pick 3 of them, and then I'll just decide, I guess.
Sounds good to me.
And I'm also working on 2 music videos. And I got that one with the guy from Israel. He's OBD. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Blacklight.
Mm-hmm.
He's a OBD or Ben David.
Mm-hmm.
We did that Sport Galactic video together, and I'm working on a song with him too.
Nice.
You ready, Ryan?
It's freaking out. Hold on.
Freaking broke it. That's why it's all red over there.
No, that's just where I live. Sorry. Come on. Properties. Is it this one? No. Must be this one. There we go. Click it. Just where we want to go. Maybe if I just remove this. Why?
You broke it.
Yeah, pretty hardcore.
See, now you broke it.
That should be fine. That should be fine. So why is it wicked out so bad? Hold on, I'm buckling the water.
I have to say though, Wolf Den Radio right now has got the record. It nuked two hard drives. Now
I think that was me. That's my fault because I like to break it.
Put back on.
Yeah.
Panic Kid. Panic Kid. All right, good. Set. Ha! Ha! Ha!
It's like me, and I got live restricted soon.
I guess they have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, my bone! Oh, no!
Oh.
All right, we're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. Hello, welcome to the Vibe Engineers, episode 4. We have some amazing guests joining us today as we zone into different AI controversy topics and some other fantastic news from the platform and some special guests. So we already know our regular guests on the show, so we're going to introduce some special people we have in here today to kind of just set the seats before we dive into some topics. Uh, First up is going to be Melanie Hart. Say hello to everyone. What you're about. Give us a small little briefing.
Everybody, I'm Melanie Hart. I'm a goth girl Lolita who loves singing, gaming, and making everyone happy. And I'm so excited to join this platform and get my lives going and make new friends along the way.
Oh, we're so excited to have you, Melody. We got Blacklight over here joining us
What's
today.
up?
Hey, Blacklight, give us a small little summary for the viewers that have no idea who you are.
An artist out of Portland, Oregon, making generative experiences and combining real world art with AI.
Fascinating. Wild. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. And of course, we got our our second co-host right there, Mr. Bone Man, in the studio. What's going on, Bone Man? How you waking up this morning? You crawling out of the grave? Fantastic. All right. So we have quite a couple things to get into for today's show. We got a nice little guide to kind of make sure that we're following some talking points. Make sure we stay on track. Let's see. Is Bone Man gonna keep up with all the questions and everything as well, right, Bone Man? Lean on that infantry. Oh, hey, Troy. We got a few people joining in from the chat. Welcome in, chat. So,
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah, we get. Where should we start today, Bone Man? You know, I got so much news on my shoulders. I'm sure everyone's been so busy this week. I don't know about everyone else, but it's been such a productive week in the world. So where should we start it out? Where's the good stuff for this? I see. All right. So rather than jump straight into the platform, I know one of the biggest things I want to discuss today is one of our special guests up there in the corner. Man, I've got so many questions. You know, being an AI artist that's been doing this for so many years, so many people have different tactics, and you see certain things just get priority and skyrocket. So I definitely have so many questions for you as we definitely want to pick your brain and learn from your great insight. Um, so I've heard you on other interviews as well, you know, talking about how it got started and kind of where it's going. But I gotta say, probably the best thing I want to know from your mind is the current landscape of AI this week, right? This week has been so different than the rest, and everything's evolving at such a rapid rate. How are you feeling about the landscape this week from your perspective?
I love it. I'm having a great time. But I've also like figured out like my entire pipeline from like production to distribution. So the stresses that I deal with are not like the stresses that other people are dealing with. For me, like this week I had 4 projects that were all due by Fridays. So I'm like working under the gun, trying to get everything done and satisfied and get paid. I mean, I sent out all my invoices on Thursday so I could kind of enjoy the rest of the week. So for me, it's a great time. Summer is like right now is when people are starting to do a lot of festivals. Google I/O's coming up, I think, this week. So they're going to have a new drop, probably their Omni video. And then the week after that is AI on the Lot, Amazon MGM Studios. And then the week after that is Upscale Conference. So it's a time where like a lot of industry people are like kind of all meeting up and organizing and kind of figuring out the latter half of the year. But it's been busy. I'm tired.
Oh, interesting, bro. Perspective. Essentially, you got your pipeline so laid out. Right now, your thing is probably scale and hitting these projects and delivering
Mhm.
them and really kind of putting yourself to the limits when it comes to probably pushing the technology. You said you're even making a game, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, I'm working with developers on making a game with the IP. So I'm in charge of like a lot of the visual styling, and we're collaborating on the game styles and what's possible to do, and how we're kind of incorporating all the video content into like actually mapping out locations and stuff. So it's pretty complex. I mean,
This
earlier this
game,
week,
what platform is it going to be shot on? So we're talking about Xbox exclusive, PC. We're looking at Steam exclusive. Where you
yeah,
going?
that's something we're discussing. Actually, one of the questions came up for next steps is like mobile versus web/PC, and kind of deciding what the trade-offs are. I think probably I would prefer like a web or PC game over a mobile game just because of the scale. But all things up for negotiation on how we decide to move forward with it.
Interesting. So what I'm really hearing is that what your IP got licensed out, or is it more that someone's looking to do a project? Can you even register out your IP like that because you're
Mhm.
AI? What's been kind of some knowledge for that when people, some of our audience or even us in this room, have characters that we've created? Are we
Mhm.
missing a step on what we're doing with our brand and our IP that maybe go under our noses?
No, I mean, I think it's just about developing it further. I mean, I've been doing Route 47 for a year and a half, and so it's like 28 different shows. Those all have different characters and formats and kind of a world that they all live in. So it's just, the further you go down the creation like pipeline, it has to tie in together. So if you're just creating things like as one-offs and they don't have a home where they all live, then nothing ever is really like tied together. But in my case, I kind of built like the universe first and started developing individual stories in that universe. And then over time, you just kind of take a 10,000-foot view, and suddenly you have, like a Springfield or a South Park sort of thing where there's like a whole array of characters and a whole array of things to kind of choose from that any given day I can do, whatever show I want. I can do Night Signal today, I can do Cryptid Dating Game tomorrow, and they all live in the same world. So it's really just about like expanding it and taking it to the next step. Like if you make a video about a character and a story, well, what's the follow up to that? Like Encrypted Dating Games episode, like in that, I have I think like 32 episodes of that single game format, and you just repeat that process over and over, so it becomes easier. Some of the episodes that I sold like within the IP, and like you're right, it's licensing. Like this week, I had one of my TV partners, they wanted 3 episodes of Mysterious Planet. So I have to bang out like 20 minutes of content in a day. So you just gotta sit, and it's the same thing. You make it once, then the process that it takes to make it, and then you just repeat that process over and over, and you get faster with it over time.
So what
Like
I'm
I
hearing
started on TikTok,
is
so
consistency.
mhm.
Consistency is sounds like it's one of your mottos and has what led you to grow this to such a huge scale. The other thing I kind of heard from that was TV partner. I think you're gonna have to back up and explain a little bit on what you mean by a TV partner.
Yeah.
Bowman doesn't understand the lingo like that.
Yeah, no, I have different partnerships. So, like, I have creative partnerships with a lot of the tool companies. I just got accepted in CapCut's creative partner thing today. They reached out to me. But then I also have distribution partners, and some of them are streamers. Some of them are TV, like fast TV channels. And then, it's just different ways to get your content distributed. And distribution's been kind of like my main focus for a while, because that's the piece that most people kind of haven't figured out. It's great to make stuff, but if you're just making stuff to make stuff, you're kind of in this like small little bubble. But if you want to get it distributed to larger audiences, you have to work with other companies that are out there that are focused on that. And there's a lot of distributors and platforms that are coming on that are looking for content. AI specific ones, not AI specific ones. And so the way that I look at it is, if someone's creating a distribution platform, like I'll put a couple of videos up there. I have, hundreds of them. It doesn't hurt me to throw 3 or 4 of them up there for them. If it gets any traction, then so be it. That's a broader audience for people to see my stuff. So I just kind of drop an egg in a different basket with when someone reaches out. They say, hey, we want to distribute AI content. And that's what kind of led me to the partnerships that I have. Some become bigger than others. Some kind of fizzle out and don't really go anywhere. And it's just about constantly trying to find new ways to reach an audience, because you can go viral, but a viral clip is going to go dead in a couple of days. Like building a genuine audience. Like I had someone last night reach out to me. They made a comment on one of my videos. They're getting a tattoo of one of my characters. And I was like, well, give me your email. I'll actually send you like the image file. So you have like for your tattoo artist. That's like a genuine follower. That's someone's who's like loves my work. They fall in love with the character so much that it's become like a part of their life. You don't need to go viral for that to happen. It's just like you said, being consistent and creating the things that people want to enjoy. And when you hit that nerve and you find something people like, just expand on it.
We just got tattoo people. All right. Well, I mean, I knew I was missing something, but I didn't think it was right there in my face. See, I know Bowman's over there fiddling, but Scully, what's your thoughts on this? Apparently now we got to get tattoos, or this isn't going to work. Oh no!
I'm for that. I'm for that.
Oh, she's for
Good point,
that.
Matt.
Okay. All right. I'll put my foot in my mouth a bit there. So back it up to this TV distributor topic that you've been speaking about. You make it sound so easy, like you just a platform responds, and we just shoot one of your videos right into the hoop, and another one, and another. I don't know. You gave me your estimates on how much money you're making with your AI content. It kind of feels like you got someone at the top. You networked in to be able to make those type of deals, or your name's being passed around internally for those type of connections. I don't think those connections are really out there, or they more found you. Could you give
They
us some
find
more
me.
light on what they found you? All right.
Yeah.
So putting your content out there kind of set a net. And these people were able to find you, and then you were able to close those deals. And because your consistency is where you're at that point. So one of my questions following that amount of data then is, so how long have you been going with this? When was the start?
I mean,
when
3+
did this
years.
start?
Yeah, like 3+ years. I fiddled with AI for about 6 months before I actually made like the Blacklight brand. And then, like you said, with consistency, like brand consistency is huge. So, like, if you look at Coca-Cola as an advertiser and arguably like one of the best, large brands that's been marketing for 100 years, it's consistent in their branding for the most part. Same thing with social media. Just because my largest audience is on TikTok doesn't mean I'm gonna not put stuff on Instagram, which is like my lowest audience. And the name that I have on all the platforms is exactly the same. So if I just put at Blacklight AI, and it's every location, no matter what social media you're on, you're gonna be able to find me. And I think like as a creative, like all of us are kind of dependent on social media, and it's somebody else's algorithm. And so what goes viral and what doesn't isn't our decision. It's up to the algorithm and how it decides what content is getting pushed and what content isn't getting pushed. And so you almost have to transcend any singular platform just to be recognizable. And by keeping your branding consistent across all platforms, you suddenly transcend any singular platform. Because there's content that I push on Instagram that I don't push on TikTok. And there's stuff I push on TikTok that I won't put on Instagram. And then I won't always upload my YouTube channel, because it's just different audiences. So it's kind of learning how audiences react on different platforms.
That's a great topic right there. Right. So different platforms you have to treat completely different. You can't just take the same video, throw it out on the platforms, and expect them to engage, right? Each content has to be directed or crafted for that one type of platform. You got to understand what that platform is about, right? And it's taken me a while even to kind of get that down. But I think definitely one of the big differences is I have to constantly switch. I can't lock myself in something for 3+ years. The amount of characters I've gone through Oh my God, homie. I just have to keep switching because it feels like I'm not on the money. It's something that isn't ready to be sticking with. Even now, I'm making 2 exclusive movies. One of them is outrageously spicy and X-rated, just a thriller to make it dark. And then another one's cartoony and quirky, right? And as much as I could split the brand into this and have it under one name, it is going to cause brand delusion, right? And it's not going to have the same power of someone that is consistent with it. So I think for everyone watching, I mean, especially everyone here, it's such an important keynote to take away from things is that when you have something and you put in that much of consistency and you build a universe around it, and then you start learning how to use these platforms to engage in building an audience that retains to the point of getting tattoos or following along or reaching out for different opportunities. It just takes consistency, right? So that's fantastic to hear. What a great story to share with the audience. So we're going to pivot a little bit. I definitely got more questions for you. I absolutely do. Um, Especially on what you did to YouTube, because I know they demonetized you for a second with the rest of us, and you did
Mhm.
something to get back. We're gonna circle back to that. Make sure I don't forget about that. But Bone Man, it looks like you're having a partner seizure.
Pretty
Are you
much.
okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just keep going.
Oh, just me keep going.
Well, I mean, you could always drag mine in there. I'm actually curious.
I don't have the host thing. I don't have any of that. So
Wait, did we not share
nobody
the
sent it to
file?
me. Yeah, nobody sent me the file.
Oh, now my chat's laughing at me. Ah, bruh. A low moment right there. Um, I mean, I right, my cloud closed. Um, well, then, Greg, all right,
Yeah.
I'll just keep this going. Um, Hearing all that information, none of it's coming to your mind because you got a guy sitting next to you that's got his deals down. He's got his distribution down. He's got video games coming up. You know, he's making in the golden forest with the end game for all this. And what comes to your thoughts, dude? Because you're someone that makes music videos, and I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
his content, but man, what powerful content it is, right? So, Greg, what's your thoughts after hearing all that?
Well, I just had like a few questions. I create my character. It's like an alternative of myself. Now, should I expand with him and just create like a whole universe with him? Everybody knows me for the wild, the crazy, the booty, the ass, the titties, the swearing, whatever, the color. Should I just like start expanding his universe, or should I just start over and start? Because I've been doing it for like 3 years too.
Yeah.
But when I started, I did a little bit of everything. And now I'm starting to get into the mode where it's my alternative self. Now should I create like stories upon him?
Yeah. Expand on him.
Okay.
So you already have the character fleshed out, right? And so now the character, think about just like in life. Like when you are meeting somebody new, what are the questions you normally ask somebody? It's like, oh, what do you do for a living? What do you do for fun? Where do you live? Like, what's your life like? You know what I mean? So you have your character down. So that's the easy part. Now tell us about his life. What does he do? Where does he work? What are his experiences? What are the things that happen to him? And then as you do that, think of it like concentric circles. So like, say he goes to a location, now he meets a new character. What's that interaction with that new character like? Well, now you have a new character in your world, and you have to think about like what are the rules of the world.
Right.
So like in some worlds, people have like the grass isn't green, it's purple, and everywhere you look, it's purple grass. And every time they do a video outside, it's purple grass. That's just one of the rules of that world. So it's thinking about like, what does your world look like? Your universe look like? What are the rules or the confines within that world? And then what are the stories that happen in that world? Maybe certain things happen. Like maybe there's someone who is in this place and they woke up accidentally, and where they're from, all the grass is green. So they become neurotic and they start painting all the purple grass green. And now you have a story of this person who's just neurotic out there, like with a paintbrush, painting every blade of grass from purple to green because they can't handle it being purple. That's just one like sliver of that. And I think when you start treating video as like a window into your world, it makes it easier for you to start expanding on those stories. So like and you're showing people a slice of that world like every day.
Yeah, and I do it like every day with the same character, you
Yeah.
know. I did that After Hours one where he's making out with the girl and smoking weed, and
Yeah. So maybe you should do another one and the girl comes back and she's like, "You took my phone." You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like bring that character back.
okay,
Create some sort
okay,
of dialogue, some sort of tension between those characters.
okay.
And then
Thank
you can
you,
expand on it.
thank you, because yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying go along with those characters, but I got to put Sen out there. How do you know when character fatigue sets in? Or maybe this character isn't right for the audiences, or this character's not getting a pulse.
Yeah, you just kind of look at the metrics of it. I mean, there's characters that I've made that I'm like, nobody's gonna like this, and then they like love that character. And it's about, your own conviction with it. Like I've had characters that didn't perform well the first time, and then I make another video with that character, then suddenly people learn more about that character and they begin to like that character. Then they see something happen to that character and they become more emotionally invested. So, there's a lot of characters in media that we hate, right? Like I think of Jack Nicholson in movies where he's, you can't handle the truth. That guy's a fucking dick. But I love Jack Nicholson as an actor, and I've loved him in other stuff too. So just because someone hates a character doesn't mean that character doesn't belong. Maybe you need someone to hate a character to feed into the emotional storytelling that you're giving. So you don't necessarily need to go off of emotion or like metrics. If that character is in that world, that's where they live. I've got a character who like looks like he's been huffing paint and he's a narcoleptic and he's just like a bum, but he shows up every once in a while whenever I need him.
So it sounds like education. It sounds like education into the characters, and the characters need to
Mhm.
really portray something to the viewer. So maybe that's an interesting hot topic to talk about from your perspective of the AI music videos versus TV show formats,
Mhm.
right? Because there is a lot of people, there's a lot of viewers. We have a lot of music artists with us in our platform, and we love them, right? And all these people want to make music videos all over the place, but the music videos never grab tension or retention, and they also are ridiculous to push. The algorithm feels like it just swamps over them
Mhm.
without blinking an eye. So, what's your thoughts on you creating a universe? But what would you say to the people that's creating these expensive music videos?
Yeah. I mean, music videos, you have an opportunity to tell a visual story, even with a music video. Even if there's no dialogue or anything, you can create compelling music videos with a visual story that kind of lines up with the music that you're making. It's not just like, 20 clips in a single style that you just animated and kind of mashed together. What's the beginning, the middle, and the end? Like, what is the story visually you're trying to tell in this music video?
See, so you're saying portray a story through the music,
Yeah.
build out that same universe, and then keep educating the viewer in that universe or with that character, portray different emotions. Very
Mhm.
interesting.
And a lot of it too is like I started doing music videos. I've been playing piano since I was 5. I got into AI initially because of music. I did music videos exclusively for about 6 or 7 months before I ever did any narrative work. But that's because the narrative side is harder. It's harder to do lip sync. It's harder to do um, engagement shots. You have to know like all of the different tools that you need to use to get the different shots that you need, and that's a skill you have to practice. So maybe you have a music video and there's a visual story, and your main character or your lead singer is singing, and then the song ends, and then the character walks off a stage, and then they have a short dialogue. That's a really good way to like begin to move into a narrative space and also incorporate that in your music video.
A good idea. I'm kind of curious for one of the girls here that also are just hiding in a corner. You welcome to talk. You're welcome to butt in. But Scully, I mean, how has this? What's your thoughts? What's going on? I know you got something to say. I mean, you just heard him, I think, lay out the magic formula for all of us.
No, I agree. I try to storyboard any video work. I think that imagery is super important, especially since we are working against a lot of things as AI artists. I feel like we need to offer a little more, via video for our works. I do. I agree. with developing a strong story. And even in your song lyrics, too, you need to have imagery for the listener. What keeps people listening to the story and your lyrics.
Absolutely. Wise words, Goldie. Wise words. Melody, what, you busy over there? You still with us? Ah, fantastic. So after hearing that, what did you kind of take away from it?
What I took away from that is that basically that success comes to you over time, and that if you stick with your passions, like you have to put in the time and the work so that way you can get more noticed. And the more you work on it, the more new things you'll figure out in your production. And then the new things that you figure out for your production, it could work better for you and the viewers. So that way you can create content that looks smoother, not like shaky or anything. And then you could get a bigger following from it eventually.
I mean, yeah, that's a great takeaway. I mean, that's definitely what I heard as well. You know, we got to stay consistent with it. And Blacklight, I don't know how much you know about us, what we've been doing, but got a baby. It's about 4 weeks old at the moment. Been working on it for around 6 7 months in the oven, and we definitely got a platform that we have such high hopes for at Reactive Vibe AI. If you got AI music or you got AI films, we are building the platform of the future. Um, so maybe Blacklight, maybe you've stumbled upon the site, maybe you opened it up, maybe you completely ignored it. But what's been your thoughts? How you stumbled upon us, or is this more you just saw one of my content pieces, or was it the podcast videos? Because I've been watching your
It was the
content for
podcast.
years
I'm
now.
just saying, it was the podcast. He knew who we were. No, no, I'm kidding.
Now he's been drawn in by the carnival soul. You know that.
Yeah, no, I saw the podcast. Like everything, you check out what everyone's doing. I'm not in a vacuum. You know, I see what everyone else is doing. A lot of times I'm just like so focused on what I'm working on that I get like tunnel vision. I'm not really good at like social media. I don't have any like personal social media accounts. I just find it to be, I don't know, I don't like to spend a lot of time in front of a camera. I've never been like a very social person to begin with. It's very kind of draining to me. But yeah, the platform's super dope. I see you guys are making some growth on it, and now is the time to build stuff. So a lot of it is like compound growth is something that like you don't really learn about as a kid, and it's kind of a disservice that we don't learn about it. But 1% better every day means at the end of the year you're over 3 times better than when you started. So if you were to improve yourself just 1% every day, just change one small thing, by the end of a year, you're going to be at least 3 times better than when you started.
That's a great thing. You know,
I agree with that sentiment.
yeah, and maybe we push ourselves a little too hard trying to, we just think one day we're gonna wake up and just, oh yeah, 400,000 users. But it's gonna be a slow push. We're gonna have our moments. We're gonna have our ups and downs, and knowing that we are improving by that 1% or over per day, that's traction. You're right. It's going to build up. Um,
Mhm. For over a year, like here's a fun fact for you. For over a year and maybe closer to a year and a half, I posted at least a 2 minute video, music video, new every day for a year and a half to 200, maybe 300 views. And I never woke up the next day and said, I'm not going to do that again. I just came up with something new. So, I have over, at this point, like 500 or 600 videos that I've made in 3 years, over 100 episodes, over 350 music videos. So, like, it's just keep showing up, keep doing it. You never know when your audience is going to find you, and you never know when you find something that people like. Like, did I think 3 years ago that making the weird ass shit that I make was going to be the thing that I was known for? No. Like, I wanted to recreate more like Dayglow, like nightlife stuff that I enjoy. But just because I enjoy it doesn't mean that the audience enjoys it. And if I made something that has now resonated with an audience, like the most powerful moment for me was when I was getting comments that people would say, like, oh my God, my show is on. Shut up, my show is on. When someone takes ownership of your content like that and they like it like that, it's beyond you at that point. So, like, now I think there was a point where I was like, oh, I'm going to make a storyline where I kill off this character. Well, if everybody loves that character, why are you going to kill it? You know what I mean? Like, it's beyond you at that point. And so then there's almost a responsibility to like show up for your audience. And you talk about character fatigue. Like, I worry about that sometimes with some of my characters. So I just don't make that piece of content. But then what do I do to fill that time? And how do I keep my audience entertained if they maybe don't like this other character that I really love? And it's like, well, just expand that other character's lore, show it how they kind of like are related or how they are interact in the world together, and then you just kind of expand on it. And over time, like, your audience will find you, and the things that they like will resonate. And I get asks for specific content all the time, and now I just make what people ask for. Someone this past week, they're like, I missed the Night Signal, so I just made a Night Signal episode just because somebody wanted to see it. And I was like, that's great. I don't have to think about what I'm doing beyond just the script at that point, because people are requesting pieces of content that they want to see.
So one thing that kind of stood out to me in what you just said is you make content for your audience, not for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. I make stuff for myself sometimes, but I won't put it on TikTok.
So you're more very focused, like on TikTok, on what goes to your audiences.
Exactly. There's different platforms for different things. Like, if I want to show off a tech demo, I'll do it on LinkedIn. Like, if I want to show piece of like TikTok is my, like, the audience there is mainly there for the entertainment. My audience on X is like mainly there for me as a creator and like learning how I think and do stuff. The audience I have on Instagram, they just want vibes. So they just want pictures and video clips and vibes. Those are three totally different strategies. So music videos that I make are like things that I make just for me. I'll post them on X and maybe on YouTube, but I won't post them on TikTok or Instagram.
So it's knowing your audience.
It's knowing your audience, and it goes back to that point of like, as a creator, you are not confined to just the audience you have in one location. You're going to be a creative everywhere, right? And so to transcend any of those platforms, you can make whatever you want, but when you're posting it, realize the audience that you're posting for. Use your analytics, see what your audience is. You know, like, I have a pretty good split right now. I think it's like 55 female, 45 male. And then most of it is like in the US. So US content with a pretty even split is going to be the things that I focus on. If I had like a larger following in like Korea, I would probably incorporate more K-pop and things that I do in that. Like, know where your audience is, know what those audiences like. Like, TikTok will tell you even sometimes, like, people that watch you are also watching this. Check out what that content is. Just see what it is. Is there a way that you can incorporate some of those same themes into what you're doing? And if you can, then do that. Because people that like you also like that stuff. It's going to resonate with them.
So, this is where I'm going to say I told you so reactive. I told you fans are important human beings.
Fans are everything. That, like, the fact that I even have fans is like mind-boggling to me sometimes. And then I've gotten messages from people that have said, like, I've helped them with their agoraphobia. I've had people that have said that I help them fall asleep at night and they have insomniac and my stuff calms them down. Like, those single comments keep me going. I don't need 1 million likes on every video, but if someone's resonated with it in some way and it means something to them, that's really powerful. Like, that actually weighs more than, 1,000 likes on a video.
I absolutely agree 1,000%. Like, as a content creator, as well, when your audience kind of like owns you, like in the sense of like, I've had fans be like, hey, listen, if we get so many subscribers, we'll all get a tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, we'll get his face tattoo type thing. And it's mind blowing when you have fans, and it makes you want to like just up your game on everything. You know what I mean? It
Very
really
true.
does. Like as a streamer on Twitch, like I lose my mind like whenever like I've got people sitting there having a good time, whether rooting me on or wishing me harm, you know what I mean, type thing. Fans are fans, and everybody that's like, oh, well, if I put this out, someone's like I'm gonna get haters. Your haters are also your biggest fans.
It's true, and I have a lot of them.
I keep
What
telling
was it? For
people.
every one fan, you're gonna have 10 haters.
Oh
So
yeah.
you have 11 fans. 10 of them are hardcore.
I keep telling people that you have to remember, as a heel, boos are applause also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I also like I like what you said about like the writing whenever it comes like, hey, if you have if your fans like a character but like they don't like your favorite character type thing. One thing I've always like figured like that I did in my writings is I would basically like make that person the villain. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like my favorite character, I would use every reason why I would be jealous, in the sense of like why everybody loves that person. And then I would do like, just what I could to destroy that. You know what I mean? Type thing. And I think like you said, it creates a great dynamic, when you start realizing your audiences, your stories, and fitting in just like yeah, I'm a big proponent of like your audience is everything. Like, I tell everybody like, when we go live and like they start like dropping music, I'm like, don't just sit there, drop your music and run, bro. Go get your fans. We will fucking ham this shit up like crazy. And that's why the album release parties, I think are gonna be great. And I appreciate you just kind of like confirming, like you being like one of the tops of like our industry. Hearing you say no, 100%. If you're consistent, get an audience, know your audience. Like that's all me Reactive in Mind has been telling everybody. And hear it confirmed by someone like you, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So
I
I got
wanted to
people
bring up
asking.
something.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Scully.
I heard about a story a few days ago about situation I want thoughts on because it kind of has to do with having an
Mike,
established audience and then
Scully, your mic's cutting out, Scully.
oh, I apologize. Hopefully this is better.
It's not a professional live unless there's 1,000 screw ups.
Right. Well, I don't know how
So,
much you heard, so could someone let me know when my
Just start
mic
from the
cut?
beginning.
yeah,
Just
just
start
start
from
from
the
the
beginning.
beginning.
So I'm bringing this story up because I heard about it a few days ago. I feel like it has to do with people have a dedicated audience already. So the story was the producer out of Europe that created a Japanese metal band called Neon Oni. And I guess it kind of took on a life of its own. He didn't really think it was going to catch on. Like 80,000 views later, he has a situation where people are looking into his creation. It's discovered that it is AI. It wasn't marketed as AI, anything like that, from my understanding. Now, because of, I guess, the response, band is becoming an actual human project and doing shows. So if an artist decides to go that direction, what do you think they should do with their established audience who, nothing to do with a human made project to begin with?
I mean, just because something's made with AI doesn't mean that a human isn't involved. And yes, there are agentic programs that can make content right now, but they're not good. And I think the important part is to pull the curtain back, a little bit and show people the work that it takes to go into making something, and a little bit about the process of how you make something, and then go from there. I mean, there's, and I talk about this a lot, there's two tracks in how you work with AI. And the first track is a dead end, which is relying on the intellectual property of other people to expand on fan fiction or stories that they want to make. That is where a lot of people start because they don't have the creativity yet to really like you have to break through the mental barriers with AI and what can be done with AI. And a lot of people start with what they know and they stay there. That doesn't get you anywhere in the long run. You can't monetize it. You know, we talked about YouTube, they're pulling back on that stuff. Like it's great for fan fiction for a hobbyist, but if you're going to be taken seriously in this, relying on somebody else's work is not gonna get you there. The second track is the harder track, and it's the one that I've kind of been on the longest, is creating something genuinely new. You now for that to go viral and to get popular is very hard because you're asking people to get to know new characters, new stories, a new intellectual property altogether. And that comes like over time. Like look at Star Wars fandom. Star Wars has been a thing since the 70s. You know, you're talking about 40, 50 years of intellectual property that's been out in the public culture for a long time. That's a behemoth. So coming into AI and making something new with it, you're competing against 50-year-old intellectual property. Of course, it's not going to get the same numbers that does because it doesn't have the same audience because they haven't been exposed to it. So you're not really looking at viral metrics when you're creating something new. You're looking at like conversion metrics. So, and what I mean by that is if 1,000 people like your video, if 1,000 people see your video and 100 people like your video and 20 people comment on your video, that's successful. That's a successful piece of intellectual property because what that means is now you repeat that. Now the next video, 1,000 people see that video, maybe 110 people, 120, 150 people see that, maybe 10 comments, still successful because you're getting that conversion number looks really, really good. And what that says is if you can continue to do that, is that if you now are in front of 1 million people, now 100,000 people are going to like it. And maybe 10,000, 20,000 people are going to meaningfully engage with it. That is a successful product right there. It has nothing to do with only getting 1,000 views. It's how does that 1,000 views perform? How does that engage with the person? And that's something that you can grow over time. And so I think showing people behind the curtain, you know, show them the process that it takes. Like Cryptid Dating Game takes me anywhere between 6 and 8 hours to develop a 5 to 7 minute episode.
I got someone in this chat right here, and they got a question. They've been itching right here. They're saying, Crimson, I have multiple artists. Is it hard to pull off under an umbrella of artists under one main? Mine are broken down into styles and stories.
So it depends on how you incorporate those. I mean, if it's different styles, that's definitely going to be different. That's going to be challenging to do. Like for me, I have the shortcut of making everything interdimensional. So this dimension may be reality. The next dimension over might be everything's made of yarn. The next dimension over might be all animated. It's an easy storytelling kind of fix to that. If you want to keep them separate, then you have to build out all of those different worlds of those characters individually.
They're saying there's a lot of world building behind it, right? There's a lot of a foundation you need to put into your content to lay out these worlds because it sounds like the real secret sauce to it is consistency and education of the characters and what happens to them with that connection.
Sorry, before I forget, because the brain damage, but I want to touch something on he said when it comes to the engagements. Like, you know, just even a like, a comment, like even like any repost, it doesn't even have to be consistent. That right there not only chucks you further into the algorithm for more engaging, but people don't realize the reason you should celebrate that engagement is once you hit a certain point in like different like platforms like creator programs, they pay you. Y'all like, I know a lot of like you guys, especially in my chat, are like, well, how am I supposed to get paid from this? Well, if you're consistent, you do exactly like he said. Know your audience, kind of like, you know, scale per audience. And then each program is be like, all right, well, TikTok, if you hit 1,000 likes, that's like $10. Like that's legit. Like I can show you guys my, you know, like creator programs I'm in. and it would baffle you guys, and you're always like, well, how are you staying in business? I've been at this 7 years, like full time. I have no other job. You know what I mean? So like, I absolutely agree with him 1,000%. Knowing your audience is everything. Having fans, knowing your fans, like really jumping in there, like participating with your fans, creating communities. Like that will throw you so much further into success. Not fame like a lot of these people want. It's success. Consistent, reliant. Now, what was it? You've got a video game off, based off of your works. You've got series at the Yin Yang, which I'm excited to like really explore. You know, that's where I'm really, really glad that like because of Reactive, you and I get to meet now. Like I'm a book writer. I've worked for Fiverr for an extremely long time. You know, writing like, you know, ghostwriting for like movie scripts and books. And now like, you know, like with books, it's like, oh, that's a book. I gave Mind one chapter of my book, and the boy hasn't made it past 3 minutes because, you know, the media is boring. But because of you guys now, I can turn all my stories to life. And that right there, like when I saw Mind do my shots video, I cried. I instantly cried because it was literally the metaphor that I, like of my life that I was going through, and he turned it literally word for word what was on my mind. And because of guys like Reactive, I feel like this has all come beyond possible.
I have a question for Blacklight.
Sure.
What do you think is the best pathway for an artist that does multi-genre work to build an audience that's consistent?
Own your own funnel. And what I mean by that is think of all of these social media platforms as a road to your house. What's your digital house? For most people, it's developing a website. And I have my website where I kind of, it's the basis of everything. And then all the roads lead to that. So, you know, you're linking all of your other platforms to each other. Being consistent with your brand kind of transcends all of those, and then creating your digital home. So I have a Discord that a lot of my community comes into. I have all the shows listed in there, so if people want to make recommendations, they can. I have a way for people to talk to each other and kind of engage with me. I have a Patreon. I have merch. I have my website. And so it's just giving people as many possible ways to reach you that they can. I have people that, like, my inbox is insane. Like, I don't ever see messages in my inbox. Sometimes I'm days late responding to people, and it's not that I'm just like being, you know, that I don't care or I'm rude. I just don't see it. And so I try to give people as many ways to get to me as possible, to communicate with me and kind of engage in the world with me. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing is don't rely on one road to you. Try to create as many roads to you as possible, and then think about what your digital footprint is and where it lives. Like if you were to go to Google and type in Blacklight with the V and the exclamation point, and that's it, you'll see like the whole, like I take up the entire page because I've done my brand so consistent that it's everywhere. And so if someone really needs to get a hold of me, they can find me through like a plethora of different avenues now. And that's big. Like if you want to get found, you want people to, you know, hit you up for a project, they need to figure out how to get to you. And if there's only one way to do it and they're having to hunt all over online to try to figure that out, that's going to be a problem.
See, so
Do you ever find yourself inadvertently going ahead and building your characters into a world that you had already created? You start working on a character. Yeah. I have an IP that I started back when I was going to Art Institute of Pittsburgh that will not get into why that's still not a thing, but it's anyway. When I've started creating characters for a couple stories that I've done, and the universe I've been building with the Carnival of Souls and my music and everything, I realized coming into it that I'm building these characters back in literally into Damon Blackstone's world.
And that's great. That makes it easy because then you can kind of like tie everything in together. I mean, all of your stuff should kind of have a home that it lives in. And very similar to social media, the analogy I use is like a leaky bucket. So there's a bucket and there's a bunch of holes that have been poked in the bottom. And you can fill that bucket up, but over time, the water's going to pour out the bottom. And so to keep that bucket full of content, you have to constantly be pouring back into it. The same thing is true in world building. Is you're only showing slivers every day, and people may forget over time. And so you have to constantly reinforce what that world is and the characters in it and the stories and the way that that world runs for people to really learn it. Because they might miss a video here or there. And if that has crucial context for them, they're going to want to know that stuff. So it's just constantly reinforcing pieces of your world so that people that are new can join in on the fun.
I think
So
this is. Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, so integrate your multiverse with your characters.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. And go even further than that. Like, if you have different characters and they're in the world together, do they know each other? How do they interact with each other? And is there something there that you can do? Like, I had characters that I made like fall in love with each other that never knew each other. And then we're kind of like ripped apart. There's storylines and stuff there. That stuff is a gold mine for storytelling and creating a new content.
I love that, actually.
I think it's great words. I think it's resonating definitely with our viewers, because a lot of people out there, they're just trying to figure out what they want to stay with, what kind of consistency they want to go to, what kind of worlds they want to build. So if you're listening right now, a lot of things to kind of recap is to be consistent with it, to develop like this bucket of content and flood it out. Because every piece of content is just you putting out your hand to make another connection out there. And if you keep going, you will essentially establish yourself. Now, one of the things that we're doing with our website is, personally, I'm fed up with the platforms. I'm over it, right? I'll post to them. My posting schedule is automated at this point. I don't touch anything. I just train these systems. But what I'm kind of putting some eggs in my basket is doing pay to consumer, right? So we're working on certain pieces of content that are extremely high quality. These things are taking 5-6 months to create. They are extreme high level of quality within these TV shows and movies that we're creating. And we're thinking about doing paid to consumer through the website. Have you had any experience with something like that being created or watched something like that happen previously that you were witnessing?
Yeah, I've seen paid to consumer content on AI native platforms, and the hard thing is that because it's so new, there is no what we would consider like in other like industries like a rack rate, and so rack is the standard rate for something, and so there is no standard rate right now for video content that a consumer is paying consistently. But there is rack rates on the cost for the work to be generated. And so you could back out the math of your total audience size and the cost of production based off of views to get your price. But not a lot of people are doing that right now. And so it's hard to price what that looks like. So for example, if it costs me, or if I charge $1,000 a minute of content, let me pull out a calculator real quick. And I make a 5-minute piece of content. That's $5,000 that I would charge for that. If I have 20,000 viewers at $5,000, 20,000 viewers, 25 cents per, was what I would charge someone. So it would cost a quarter for the consumer to watch that, knowing that I have at the ceiling 20,000 people that would view that. So if 20,000 people paid me 25 cents, that's $5,000. I would be able to make that work. So like that would be where I'm at right now for a consumer. Most consumers, when they're buying like media, they're like, look at like music downloads. 99 cents is, I think, where most Apple TV and Spotify stuff is at music. I have a friend of mine who just started a platform. I'm pricing my music at $2 a song for a download, mainly because I'm not out there releasing, thousands of songs like I do with my video content. My music, I take a lot more time with. I'm a lot more serious with it. So it's going to have a higher price point. But you're not going to get like when you think about it, like $2. Okay, a couple people pay me $2. I'm not going to get rich off of that. I might be able to go out to dinner, might be able to get something nice. But you have to think about what the price point makes sense at scale, because people need to find the value in it. There might be someone who wants to pay $5 for an episode, but no one's doing that right now. And why would they pay for content when they can go on social media for free and just scroll away hours and hours at a time? So that market still needs to be developed out, and you have to back out the math from like a cost perspective and like a revenue perspective of like what you're trying to make based off of the assumed audience size. And then if it scales from there, like, so now you say 25 cents, right? I'm assuming if I have 25 cents, my normal audience is around 20,000 people that are going to view this. I'm going to make $5,000. That's great. Say that one piece goes viral. Now you have 1 million people paying 25 cents. You just made $250,000.
Very true. So you're saying pushing new style of content onto people is going to be a tough sell to.
It's a tough sell, and you need to be realistic with your pricing. If you think you're going to make like a 30 minute episode of something and you're going to try to charge people $10 for it, you're probably not going to get that. Like, think about old movie rentals. When even in the 90s, I mean, it was like $1.99 for a movie rental for 7 days.
Interesting, because like I said, a lot of this stuff is automated in the background. Like last night, I developed my accountant, and I made him very accountant-y. And that guy reviewed everything. He came back and he was like, "This ain't gonna work. You got a couple decisions to make. You either go to a subscription base, or you up your price point on the pay-per-view, right?" So we have yet to really make a decision. But knowing that you're saying that it's going to be a tough sale, even as something at that quality, at those standards, no one has that enough retention to that world yet. In order to make a conversion of a sale of around $10 would be too much of a price point. So, which means that we will probably have to pivot into more of the subscription-based route in order to keep this idea somewhat of a pulse. Would you agree?
You're also competing against fast TV, right? And that's the biggest market that for home consumers right now globally. And that, if you don't know, is like if you have any sort of modern TV now and you have internet, you can plug the internet into your TV and immediately get television shows. They're going to come with weird commercial breaks and things that don't really, like, you don't see on cable, like gaps in programming, but it's technically free to consumer as long as you have an internet connection. And so you're going to be competing with those distributors. And if their product is free, essentially, that's the lowest barrier to entry there is. And so if you're going to charge a subscription or something, you have to provide the value for that. So what do people get for their subscription?
So hold on. So I have a question. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, reactive. So I don't know if you want to answer this, but I'm going to ask it. So do you make ad revenue from like the different platforms that you're on?
Nope.
You don't make any ad revenue?
I have ad revenue set up on YouTube, but it's like $5. I've been kicked out of a TikTok's creator program 3 times. I'm not currently monetized on any platform. So for people to support me, it's through buying my merch or subscribing to my Patreon or being a subscriber on one of the social media platforms. But I think like like any social media revenue or anything, maybe less than $100 a month.
Okay.
Wow. Oh.
Now as a platform, like using ad revenue to supplant the subscription base.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's a way to go?
Yeah, totally. I mean, advertising has always been an expense for like getting a lot of stuff done. And like we live in late stage capitalism right now. Like the corporations should be the ones that are paying for everything, not the individual consumers. And so you look at the streaming services, even though those are paid to the consumer at a small price, there's still ads. Like I watch live TV on Paramount Plus, and it's all drug commercials. The drug companies are paying to show their stuff to the consumer. That's what essentially pays for most of the stuff. So yeah, I mean, ad revenue is huge, and ad revenue on YouTube is the largest ad revenue collection of anything, of television or streaming or anything. It surpasses cable. It surpasses everything, which is wild. Like if you can make it big on YouTube and you get that ad revenue, that's great. I've been on YouTube as a creator for 3 years. I just got into their creative program maybe a year ago, and I'm still not. I mean, I have maybe 5,600 subscribers on there right now. I'm not making a ton of money. I'll tell you, I'll look it up right now. It's probably like cents.
We got a question from one of our viewers, Sound Over Ego. You were saying you want to pay for streamers. Dude, you will have to have a super security from bot. I'm not necessarily sure I follow along on what you're trying to convey, but if you give me some clarity, I'll try to understand that.
I think what he means is like, how like people have bought it out different platforms.
Oh yeah. People bought views all the time.
Okay. Well, definitely.
I mean, that's like honestly, the fact that that's been exposed like hardcore. Like there's so many groups that that have been getting like the ad revenue from Twitch, that from their like partner programs. So they bought the shit out of their live streams, and then they do it on YouTube as well. Or those guys are part of agencies like. I don't think
my ad revenue for the last 30 days is $10.58.
Okay. I was saying that's because the platform made like way more in that ad revenue than you did.
Totally. Yeah.
So as a platform, like the reason like the subscription based or paywalls are really difficult to fight against unless you have an already dedicated audience. I mean, you're competing against Amazon. 90% of like the good shit that Amazon has is free, and they push that shit hardcore. And then it's like,
and younger generations just bounce from subscription to subscription.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, well, if you want to watch something like a little more unique, you have to subscribe to this. And then the subscription base makes sense because then you feel special, getting into something that's only like behind the paywall. But there's enough free content for you to enjoy. They just throw ads in like beginning, middle, and end, like TV used to do. And then bam, they made, what was it? $1,000, $10 per 1,000 interactions. And an interaction is only like 45 seconds of a view.
Mm-hmm. And then you're at the whim of the platforms too. That's another side of it. I mean, I get flagged all the time. I mean, for a long time on TikTok, every single post of mine got flagged, and I'd have to appeal. Yeah, because mine's considered body horror, is what they call it, because it looks abnormal and it's just never been seen on social media before, and they think it's grotesque.
Oh man, that's wild. All right, so we're okay. Wait, Sign Over Ego. But if you're planning to pay for reviews, you will have to deal with a bot farm, and it's a big. It's a big deal. So it looks like he has questions about that bot farm.
And that's a huge. It's a really good point, actually, because if you look at Instagram, Instagram is the most botted platform of any platform. You can buy likes, you can buy views, you can buy followers. I look at large accounts on there. Go just click on their follower accounts and just scroll through some of their followers. Most of them are all bots. I mean, I have on X, I have someone that's been botting my account for 6 weeks. And I have to go in there every day and delete out bot accounts, bot followers. It happens on every platform. And then you see people, and then what happens is they will pay for that advertising and then point to their metrics and say, look how successful I am. And it's like, you're not successful. You're just spending all your money on this. And that's what's getting you visibility. It's a totally pay for play platform. And you know who the person is that's getting rich? Not you, Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah. And so that's why those metrics, like I see some people that like just steal other people's themes and concepts and styles all the time with hundreds of thousands of views, 20, 30,000 likes. None of that means anything. The way you really need to look at is not the total number of these things, but how do those numbers relate to each other? If someone has 100,000 views and they have like 80,000 likes, that's fake. There's no way. Like you're going to maybe see 10 to 20% like to views. And then from that, you'd be lucky to get even 5% comments from likes. And so if someone has anything outside of those ranges, chances are it's been botted. Even the top creators in the space that are pulling like millions of views, the numbers always back out appropriately, and it is legit. But there's a lot of people that spend their way to success.
Well, shoot, a lot of them have outed themselves. I mean, I can fucking name dump right now, you know, but I won't.
Do it. Evil Kermit, do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Woo!
Oh, man.
I hit my green inhaler at the wrong time, guys. Sorry about that.
So, great information. I think we're learning a lot about all this. So we're going to pivot the conversation to a little bit to some other insights. So let's talk about the technology, right? Because you're also about that. You work with this technology.
Yeah.
So Sora 2 is dead. It had its time. It came. It effed everything up for us, and it died over in a corner.
I'm glad it's
dead.
I clap,
I think we're on agreement with
hands.
that. Yeah. So R.I.P. homie. You messed up big time. And now we're all pivoting mostly to Seedance. So I would love to hear from you, because right now, you know, I got two platforms that I'm all about. I got AI Creator U, which is one that we've developed. That's simple, developed by hand. He's constantly updating it, and it's made by an AI creator for AI creators, and we're getting extremely high quality results out of it. It's very expensive. And then the other one we're really vibing with right now is Runway. Unbelievable deal, $97, unlimited generations with the Seedance and free upscaling with it. So great package deal for someone that doesn't have a ton of money to sink into it. So what are you currently using as you navigate the landscape of this tech?
I have creative partnerships, I think, with like 13 companies. So I am constantly going back and forth. Different platforms have different quirks to them and certain things you can do. So Seedance running on Runway is not the Seedance that runs on, say, Artcraft, or not the same Seedance that's running on another platform that's offering it, because they have different ways to interact with those models. For example, on Runway, you can use the keyframing, or you can do like the multi-reference, but you cannot upload audio to that. On another platform, you can upload the audio to that and use it in Seedance as a reference point. Same model, two different platforms, two different product offerings. So you have to use a different platform if you want to use that.
Isn't that mostly, though, the web developer and their integration through the API access?
Exactly, and it's the way the developer is interacting with the API. So there are plugins available to do that stuff. It takes additional development to get all that done. But I also work full time at a tech company. I've been building a tech company for 10 years, and I work with a development team, so I know what it takes to do an API integration, and how much work it takes to plug that stuff in. It's not out of the realm of other companies incorporating these tools. It's really just a desire. And I think a lot of the companies, Chris is really good at Runway because he's thinking from like a filmmaker perspective. But there are pieces that as creatives we ask for and say, hey, I need this ability in there. Can you do that? And if you have a good relationship with that company, that feedback loop is why I'm a creative partner. Like, I use the tool, I tell you there's something I can't do with it, I give you that feedback. If you can develop the way for me to work around this problem, or you solve that problem for me, it keeps me on your platform longer. So having creators that are in there every single day using these tools, you want that creator to give you that feedback so that they can make the product better for you, and that helps everybody in the ecosystem.
I think you just called someone at Runway by their first name.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that close of a connection with those developers.
I mean, I work with a lot of the CEOs, and I have chats with them regularly in either WhatsApp or side DM conversations. So like, yeah, I mean, I talk to them pretty regularly. Same with the distributors. And it's why I also get like these trips coming up, like AI on the Lot is fully sponsored. I'm not paying to go. I'm getting paid to go and represent the distributors that I'm working with, and just get to hang out and meet other creators and network. And then the week after with Upscale, they're putting me up for the whole week, flights, hotel, the event, everything, just to kind of show up and be there, because I work closely with them. I did a live creative session here in Portland last month, and it was sponsored by FreePick at the time, which is now Magnific. So I just taught a bunch of creative technologists in Portland how to use that specific platform. And we did a live creative session from image generation all the way to video generation, and showed them how to kind of bring things to life, and got them some credits to get them going, and showing off different companies. So yeah.
Yeah. So you network to yourself, you're close enough with them so where you can DM them and you have that clear communication. So that's what it sounds like it's really about as well. It's really networking yourself and putting yourself out there to make those connections. And I would imagine, during your DMs, you made an impression well enough to where they stay in communication with you, which
Mhm.
is fantastic to hear. Um, so you're using a mixture of AI technologies. You're not necessarily sticking with one. You see each of them have their different quirks with it, and you're integrating that into your output. Awesome. Awesome to hear. Um,
That's
have you
so
tried
damn
out AI
impressive.
Creator U yet? Out of curiosity.
Not
Or you
yet.
got okay.
Like I said, I get offers all the time to try different platforms. And for me, it's like, if it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. And I work at such a scale and speed. Like, one of my best friends built a platform, and he's like, come use it. It's got free credits, and you're welcome to hop in there and use it whenever you want to. And I tell him, I'm like, I would love to, but like, I'm so busy right now that I'm not going to stop to learn a new platform unless I need to find a workaround for something, and then I'm on the hunt for something like that.
Well, can I don't I got a question. Like, would you mind at some point, like, if I throw you my Discord, would you mind dropping, like, even the ones, like, the creators, the programs that you recommend, and even if you get one that you're like, hey, I don't have time to test, be willing to let like, throw it to us and let us test it?
Totally, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I'm all about, like,
what about all
like
the ones
watching
I
my
gave
community
you?
grow. You know what I mean? Well, like, and I applied to all of them. Ain't heard shit back from any of them. So
Yeah, they take a while.
on top of that, like, my hosting duties has been so much fucking fun. So like, I need to reorganize. But like, I'm a big community person. I love watching, like, my community grow in their skills, in their fandom, things like that. So like I said, like any little bit of information, even if it's like someone's like begging you, like, hey, just sniff my website. would you throw it to us and we'll
Totally.
sniff the shit out of it?
Yeah, totally.
Told you guys I liked y'all enough to get y'all top toys. Only the best in the boneyard.
So, I some AI artists are getting signed by real labels at the moment, and we're seeing the landscape dramatically change from what it was previously in just a few months ago, right? And the other big thing is what's about to happen on June 12th with the legal decision on Pseudo and Umideo. What is your current thoughts on that, and what is your projections to what may happen on that date?
Oh, it's not going to stop anything. The train's left the station already on AI, and whether Suno wins or loses, there's already other companies in the wings who, like, let me back up. Assuming Suno did nothing wrong, they win, fantastic. Assuming Suno did something, or assuming they didn't do something wrong, they win, fantastic. Assuming they did do something wrong and they lose, there are other companies that will just develop the same thing that they're doing, just with ethically sourced models. We saw that on the image side. We're seeing it on the video side. We're going to see it on the music side. Like, music theory is something like I've been, like I said, I was playing piano since I was 5. I've studied music theory for 10 years. That's something that can be taught from one person to another. That's something that can be applied technologically to develop music. Genres of music can be listed, defined, and there's chord progressions for certain types of styles of music. All of that can be ethically trained into a model. So whether it was Udio who decided to suck off UGC, or it's Suno who either wins or loses this case, or this new open source model that's out right now, it's inevitable. The train has left the station, whether you like it or not. I did not like AI when I first got into it. During the writer's strike, I hated it. I hated everything it stood for. I hated the environmental concerns. I hated all of it. So for me to go from being a hater to someone who is like a full-on advocate for AI now is knowing the landscape at such a deep level of like what is possible with it, and the responsibility that not only we as creators have, but like the ecosystem at large. Like, there is, concerns with data centers. I have the same concerns that the people in Utah have. Kevin O'Leary isn't even a U.S. citizen. So I don't want this guy who's in Canada trying to say that taxpayers should be paying for a data center in Utah. He can go right back to Canada with that line of thinking. Why are we going to destroy our lands for a data center that some Canadian billionaire wants? Sorry. Like, those are legitimate concerns.
Amen.
And I think, sorry, I was just going to say, like, I think, being wide and clear-eyed about what the realities of AI are as a pro AI person is the responsible thing to do. It is valid concerns, and you're never going to get mass adoption unless we face these topics head on, truthfully, and in good faith with people that are against it.
Absolutely fucking agree with that.
I also think that Suno's recent deal with Warner Music is actually going to play a pretty good part in, helping out the situation a little bit too.
Maybe. I mean, I look at what happened with Udio, and I actually took all of I have like years of samples of just like ditties that I've recorded and music that I threw into Udio and kind of upscaled. I took all that stuff out and deleted all of the content from it because, I don't want to hand over those rights. Similar to my IP, that is work that I've spent hundreds and thousands of hours of work to develop all of that stuff. I'm not just going to hand that over to some company to make a portion of profits on. Like no, pay me. It's like we live in late stage capitalism. We're all suffering from it. Like, I'm in my early 40s. Look how gray I am, you guys. Like, I'm stressed. Like, it's not an easy life. I'm at the point of like, fuck you, pay me. These corporations are screwing everybody else over. No, they can pay up for it. These are multi-billion-dollar companies, and I look at companies like I look at companies like that are in the space that are not ethical actors, like Higgsfield, for example, using like celebrities to advertise in very compromising positions, turning around and like baiting people and saying, we just destroyed 30,000 jobs. No, you should not be a serious player in the space. You have no respect for the other people in the space and what this developing field is. You shouldn't have a seat at the table. But I think people like Runway, we talked about earlier, that have really been at the forefront and are trying to do things in an honest, ethical way, that's a company that most people should be supporting. So I think that we have that responsibility as creatives to be on that other path and really showing that there is something new that can be made with this technology. And if you're creative, you can build it for yourself. Any of the previous barriers that you've ever had in making something have been completely demolished by AI. So if you have ever been a creative and you want to make something with it, there has never been a better time than right now to do it. And there's a plethora of tools in front of you to make whatever you want.
There you go.
And
Inspire.
guys, that's why we push the Discord so hard, because the more of us that connect and like high tides rise all ships, guys. I'm telling you, this guy is literally the proof of it. He was an AI hater, and like now it's like, you know what, fuck this. Just somebody needs to pay me.
Well, and it's also showing a better way forward, right? I saw a lot of people in the space that were kind of just doing like cheap knockoffs of something else. And it's like, you're never going to win a hater over by doing the things that they hate, right? The people that say the big fears with AI is that you're just stealing content. Well, yeah, if you make I saw one today and it was like people would remake these videos and it was, if Superman saved all the people in these like major scenes, like if you're doing the thing that people hate, they're just going to hate it more. So like you're not going to win people over. That is such a waste of time. Like make something new with it. And if you can, I have so many comments. Like I get more comments of like, I hate AI, but I love this. I wish this wasn't AI. And it's showing people that no, like you just hate the way that some people use AI. And in my opinion, is an unethical way to use AI. But there is a way to use this technology ethically and appropriately. And, you know, some people say I'm on a high horse about IP and things like that, but I really don't care. I think there is a right and wrong way to use AI. And it's an incredible time for the people that are doing it the right way.
Couldn't agree more. And we have certain AI artists on our platform that are absolutely just making waves. An example would be like White Flag MV from After Eve. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it's out on the platform. Absolutely beautiful. And one of the biggest mind-blowing things about this is they're doing it all on their cell phone. They don't have access to a computer. They're putting in the work, they're generating the clips, they're editing it together, they're making the music, they're writing the lyrics, and it's getting to a really beautiful point. And just like you're saying about develop that world, that character's been developing that world for a few weeks now, and they're really stepping up their game. And finally, we're getting a peek inside of what this character is about, what they're experiencing, their trauma, and really connecting to that character as they grow. So if you haven't checked out After Eve yet, you can head directly to Reactive Vibe AI in order to witness some of the amazing music videos and content they've
Van
been
Woods
creating
is
recently.
another good example of that too.
Absolutely.
Like, that's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. That was soul cell phone right there.
So one of the other things I wanna pivot to a little bit, and I'm not even sure if you're aware. Well, you're probably aware of this. So at the moment, Opus came out a few weeks ago. You know, Claude is Claude's doing some wild stuff, and it's working with it every day. It's like watching something evolve, and I'm at the point where I see where this is going, and this gets to an interesting path, because what happens in 3-4 months from now, when our AIs are so trained on what we do, they have researched and evolved surpassing us and our thought process, and have access to producing the videos. At what point are we going to be left behind? And I don't want that to happen, right? I would love to always be in the driver's seat, but being realistic, what happens when a large corporation also does something like this? You know, how are they just going to start making people up? You know, is content going to start being self-generated completely by AI in our coming future, or near future 10 years out there, or something like that? What have you dabbled or seen the level of automation that we're actually at? And I'm talking Claude, been working with you, evolving to a point, integrated through Higgsfield API, is editing the videos, posting the videos, reading the algorithms, going through the data, going back, evolving itself. So I would love to hear from you on where you think this may go in just quite a few months or even our near future.
Yeah.
I mean, Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke kind of seen it happening back in the 60s and 70s.
I'm not afraid of it.
Honestly, I agree. I'm not scared of it either because I think it'll reset. Because one, it'll only learn what you teach it to a point. And so, like, once it starts producing the same shit over and over and over, it'll kind of be like with the music. Oh, like why is like there's so much competition between like the modern music and the AI music? Well, you have people writing from the actual like heart, actually trying to do something, where like music on the radio is just like basically it is AI. I mean, it's the same shit over and over and over, like with this, like the slop AI videos. I think the whole thing will reset, and then people will appreciate the human connection to it.
There's a race to the mean, right? And so like there's a certain formula that if you follow it, it's going to get traction. But when that happens, it's so homogenized at that point because it's running through a computer system. Like I can tell when someone's using Claude in a script, and the best stories have always come from people's lived experiences. And that's something that is never going to be able to be replicated at a personal human level. And those tropes and stories that come from that will never be at the same level. Like the machine will, unless it's a machine that's been running for 30 years and has had its own quote unquote lived experience, there's no way that you can replicate that. Like even the things that we have now, and that's going to be the outliers that I think Bones is talking about here, is where like when everything is done agentically, it's all going to kind of converge into this mean and this standard middle ground that's very bland and basic, and it's going to become repetitive really fast. You'll be able to recognize it really fast. And it's the uniqueness that comes from the human injection is where the creativity lies. I mean, we see it now. Like I see people follow like the advertising path and some of the videos they make. They're boring. They're not entertaining to watch. Like it's, you look at commercials, they all look the same. When everything looks the same, people look for something that is authentic and human. And I think we're going to see a return to physical spaces that we haven't seen in probably 20 years. I am already seeing the redefinition of like an art space where it's becoming more interactive. Like I have a couple grant applications out right now for some like actual AI use in real physical spaces. And we're looking at different use cases on how to use AI video in a physical space where people can meet together. So I think even just the evolution of media consumption is going to change.
See, I agree with you on that one 100%. I think that because basically like what everybody used to do like entire like film stages for with green screens, like with the show Spartacus, that was all green screen. You know what I mean? Like it was just the whole sets were. I think AI is like the next evolution, like how we went from prop work, like physical props to CGI. You know what I mean? I think AI is the next film evolution in that.
Yeah, totally agree.
Absolutely. And I wanted to bring that up.
Be amazing.
So have you started to integrate the tasks that you do with Claude? Or are you mostly doing it self-manually? Because one thing that you said earlier is you can't go through all your emails. So I don't think you have agents working in your emails yet. Where are you at with that?
Nope. I'll use Claude for projects, and I keep all my scripts and everything in there as just a way to organize my thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really found, I think people are using agents the wrong way, personally. I think the agents should be used for mundane tasks. And sure, checking email is one of them, but I don't want an AI responding to my email with a job offer and doing the negotiating for me. I can do the negotiating for myself. Like, there's certain things I don't want to give over to AI, and it's not because it's like it would make my life more convenient. It's that there's certain things that I just physically want to do myself. Like, I want to be the one engaging with my contacts. I don't need to have an AI do all that for me. Will the AI maybe assist me in getting complex ideas explained in an easier way for someone? Totally. And I'll incorporate it that way. But I just don't have a need. Like, again, my process isn't broken, so I don't have a need for an agent yet. When I'm making episodes at scale and I'm going to throw in like a folder of like 200 images and I need animated B-roll, yeah, I'll hand that over to an agent. But I'm not at that point yet. So like when I need to use one, I will. And I use AI now in an organizational sense, but I have a pretty good process without it. And so I'm not going to incorporate AI just to incorporate AI. I'm going to incorporate AI where it provides a value add to my life. And just in that sense, it's not one yet.
Interesting. Bowman, keep the show
Yes, sir.
going. I'll be back in just a moment, okay?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. How about them Yankees? No, I'm kidding. Honestly, like I'm really glad that you're here and like sharing this with us. Like, would you mind like telling everybody where like where they can where all they can find you? Or, like,
Yeah, you can find me everywhere. You can find me everywhere at Blacklight AI. So BLVCKLIGHT AI. And I'm on every platform.
Yeah, I included your Twitter on my TikTok. So.
Oh, dope.
I'll say now. All right. Let's see. What's a good question?
I've been writing like all this. I've been writing all this down.
So
taking notes.
You're not monetized on anything.
I mean, I am. I'm just not making a ton of money. It's not my priority.
So, for those that have been demonetized, how did you get past it? Did you have to like start brand new, like
no,
demonetize somewhere, or did you just keep running with it?
Yeah, it was on YouTube, and I just kept going with it. I was like, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, but I think they wanted to prove that I was a human, and by me, I made a public post about it, and like. You can Google me. Like you can see the work that I've done and put into it. It's I've been doing this longer than Agent's been around. There's been a physical person physically making all of this stuff. And I think once they saw that I was an actual human, they re-enabled me. And then from there, I've just taken the time to update YouTube in the way that they want it. I've made new thumbnails for stuff. I'm making more playlists. I'm putting things more. I'm just getting more organized in my creations because I have so much of it. I mean, like I have a playlist I think right now that has 107 videos on it. That's way too many.
I called them out too. I called out YouTube too, but I kind of did it in a bad way. So
so yeah, so I've just been redoing everything kind of slowly and organizing in a way where people can kind of see everything.
So you've not let it get to you, is what you're saying?
No.
I was saying I really think
I'm gonna be around. Like I'm gonna be making stuff to regardless of if a platform craters or not. Like that's the whole point that we were talking about earlier. Is like you have to get to the point where you transcend any singular platform. And to me, that's where I'm kind of getting into that era now. And so I don't really worry about any issue on one platform over the other because I'm everywhere. Like if I'm not getting some love here, then I'll just go over to another platform and focus some time there. But it's just more of me that's out there. And it just expands my digital footprint more and more and more.
That's what I've been doing too, is kind of focusing on, like, I see a lot of people interacting with me on Twitter, so I'm going to go to Twitter and just hang out with them. So.
And I think that's really an important thing to hear, especially from you, is because a lot of the creators like that I know personally, Like they'll be, oh no, like something got flagged. I'm like, okay, so what? Just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like figure out your audience, understand the rules, you know, like
Mhm.
a lot of then, and on top of that, just because you get hit once does not mean you're going to get hit every time.
Mhm.
Besides,
Think of it like an old. So you're a traveling performer performing on somebody else's stage. You know what I mean? They have house rules, so you got to abide by the house rules if you want to play there. And if you don't, then that's not a venue for you. So go to another venue then, and that maybe has different house rules. If there's no houses where you like the rules, build your own house.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that's a valid way to do that. So you just kind of grow where you can, and you know, there's going to be a lot of people trying to push you back. You know, nobody believes in your success until you're successful, and then everybody's been your friend since day one.
Amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with this. Like I said, I'm really glad that you're here. Like the fact that like you know, Reactive was able to provide us a way for all of us to meet, and for you to like share out this like, you know, information, like to even like smaller content creators like myself and like pretty much everybody on this panel. Like we do greatly appreciate you being here and sharing all this with us.
Yeah, anytime.
This has been absolutely like, I'm telling you guys need to, you know, if you weren't here at the beginning, watch this. It's on YouTube, not just the Boneyard. It's on Reactive, you know, Vibe AI, you know, his YouTube channel. Like, I'm telling you guys, listen to the stuff that, like, you know, these podcasts isn't just for us to fluff our egos. Like, we're trying to help y'all. Like,
Absolutely. And we have so much to get done, right? And we're almost to a milestone. I don't know if anyone knew about this, but we're about to reach over 1,000 submissions on the website. It's been 4 weeks and we're about to hit over 1,000 pieces of content sent into the
Well,
website. So that's going to be an amazing moment for our audience and our community. And I love hearing that, you know, that path has worked for you and you're networked into these companies. And I hope you watch for what we're creating, because I think one thing you may find very interesting is kind of what I hinted at a little bit, right? And you said that you're strongly against that, right? And let me tell you, I was strongly against it as well until I started witnessing it growing, it literally learning and giving someone like me this power of I can make employees and train them is giving fire to a caveman, right? Because my day job is training people, running teams, right?
mhm.
So giving some a power like this to me is a evil deed that they did. It's gonna take me a while, but the systems I have running for me astound me at this moment. So definitely keep an eye on the platform with us. Watch what's going to grow into within a few months. I'm sure you'll be pleasantly surprised with it. Maybe we could even get, you know, something small over to it, or maybe some type of music or something you want to shoot into one of the shows or something.
I was about to say, if you happen to have like, I don't know, features or, you know, content that you want to show off in our lives, I am totally not opposed to it. Just
Absolutely.
throwing that out there.
Yeah, I've got tons of stuff.
Ooh, guys, it's gonna be good.
So one of the interesting things about this site is it did start out like this, right? It started out with me just getting frustrated with YouTube, thinking I'm just going to have to paywall my content going forward and take out the large corporations, but it turned into something so much different, right?
Mhm.
The live streamers intake the content. The content that's approved gets moved to the broadcasting system. The broadcasting system has its own viewership, and we're trying to capitalize on revenue opportunities for our artists, right? Because we don't necessarily know that Google ads or anything is going to work because it's mostly AI content. They kind of refuse to pay us within this space. So we're turning to different ways to grow the revenue for artists, and we're learning every single day, and new systems are being implemented and brainstormed going forward on it. So definitely keep an eye out. The evolution's been absolutely wild with
Yeah, the site looks great too.
well, then thank you so much. I yell at it consistently throughout the day. But I never thought I would be able to develop something that would be more powerful than Netflix, because it doesn't just play video. It's a show platform and it's a revenue system. Just the other night, I went, well, I'm going to have to pay people. Why don't I automate that process? So I have a whole payroll process incorporated into it now. But we have so many plans for the future. And one thing we want to do is we want to make it easy for creators watching, right? If you have a character, a world, you have music, I want it to be real easy. Instead of you having to set up these hundreds of profiles, sit there every day, network yourself out, slave away on this computer, drop it into the platform. Use the integration, use the automation, save yourself time, and get your foot in the door, right? And hopefully make them a good return on their investment with going to us. So that's one of the pure messages behind our platform where we're going to be. We got the Bone Man show happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. The line's already filling up. Bone Man, what's your queue at? Last I checked, I think it was over. God, was it? It was ridiculous. I saw it last night. I went, oh my goodness.
Well, I added like 4 just today. So
I
between me
don't
and
think it's at
Splica.
20, homie. I think you're over
30.
33. And
Yeah.
I didn't even transfer the ones I didn't get to last night. So if we add that together, you're gonna be at 42, and the show's at 7 p.m. So people haven't even started submitting yet. So if you're watching this, get your content in. That line's gonna be very long tonight. Very, very, very long. It's gonna be a very thick. It's gonna be a wild show. We're gonna be listening to so much great music and vibing out together. And one thing that we love doing is giving great feedback to artists, right? Because we don't want to just approve everything. We want to hear something. We want to find something. We want to call something out. We want you to go back, rebake that thing, and we want you to submit it the next show. And what's happening is people are doing this. They're coming back and they're evolving. They're evolving rapidly with their output. And it's great to be able to see the community grow like that, because you're learning AI content. Everyone thinks that you just yell at an AI and it just vomits content. And I think you're a big one of this, and you can agree to this, that it takes a huge amount of work to get these things off the ground, to do them properly, and to improve yourself with each platform. Would you agree?
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. So with that amount of work and what we're seeing, there's a great future for all of us. And what he's been saying is spam all the platforms, right? Get your hand out there. Go with us. Go with the other platforms. Go with YouTube. Go with X, and start figuring out how to post for each of these platforms going forward, right? One of the things we've been working on, Blacklight, and well, I'll just put the offer out there, is late at night, we've all been jamming together, making agents and automating different tasks we didn't think was possible before. So definitely, if you ever want some insight to maybe how we are growing some of these agents, or what they're actually doing in the back end that maybe you can find useful, you might have not known it. I didn't know these things work like this at all. And then they're literally finding cold leads for me and closing the deals and everything. And it's only a matter of time until I give them more power, more responsibility, what the output's going to turn into. And that's why I kind of hinted at, if it's at this point now, God, in 6-7 months, there is a chance that they're going to be able to make shows for us, right? And we'll start to feed them the ideas and the life experiences, absolutely. But it's going to get to the point where they might be able to edit a show better than you. They may be able to script one better than you and read the analytical data better.
There's some projects that I have coming up that are going to be like that, where they're taking my IP and they're letting people build with it. So that's new stuff that's coming out too, which is going to be pretty wild.
Wow. So they're literally taking your IP and then they're finding out ways for other creators to build off of that, essentially. Amazing. That's just going
or even agents, yeah.
Wow. Absolutely wild. So one thing I do want to pivot to real quick is Melanie's been here, but she hasn't come up and cursed me out or anything. I I feel let go a little bit, but I know she's busy. She's got her stuff. But Melanie is an amazing up and coming AI artist. They have some great music behind them, and they're one of our newest hosts. They'll be starting around June 1st with us, and we are super excited to have them onto the platform and them hosting a show. So Melanie, you want to give a shout out real quick to your future audience right here?
Yes, I'm honestly very excited to work with every one of you because you all seem super nice and so helpful. And I'm just very honored that you guys are having me. And I look forward to working with you guys in the future. And we're going to make we're going to share good music. We're going to make good music. And we're just going to make the whole time just the bomb.com.
There you go. Just huge explosion. Drop that mic. I love it. She's gonna be hyped on it. Wolfman is also coming into our ecosystem. He's been having to build computers on computers, but I think you finally made a monster good enough to drive this puppy down the road.
Yeah. Wolf's Den
Yeah.
Radio. The show is so powerful it destroyed 2 hard drives in a week. So
There you
yeah,
go.
it's one of those.
So Wolfman will be setting his schedule shortly with us. We have even more hosts starting in the background as well. So we're very excited and pleased to have these hosts with us. Even Greg, Mind Over Images, is going on Tuesday at the moment. If you have any questions, you can always visit the website at reactivevibe.com and take a look at the schedule for upcoming hosts and shows. Get your content reviewed on the platform and get ready for the early stages. I'm super excited for what we're having coming up next. Maybe we should take a moment to talk about that. So we do have these exclusives baking in the oven. They are extreme things, and like you said, it's gonna be hard to convert people for $9 to $10, but sometimes there is shows out there that are just so good, so hilarious, that they can definitely be worth value, and we might have tripped over one or two of those with us. Have you seen any of the clips?
I've seen some of them.
You've seen the one from the cartoon with the creature coming out of her stomach?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that? Yeah, that one's something else right there. Um, so we got those up and coming. The other potential things that we really want to do that I'm super excited about is the exclusive merchandise, right? You've been selling merchandise for a long time of your branding. What could you give us some insight if you were to nudge us in the right direction? Because we've been thinking about this for a while, and I still haven't made up my mind. Do I do exclusive merchandise? Maybe every week or so we pick an artist or a brand and we make something high end and exclusive merchandise. We sell a select number, make them limited, kind of scarce. Or do we open up the platform for everyone to sell their merch on their different IPs and brands? But it could get flooded with just too many options. But it would be
Mhm.
easy and convenient for people. So with that, where do you think our merchandise should go with this platform?
Think you should do it. I don't know. It's a good question. Exclusive content's always fun because there's limited numbers of it too that are being offered. So there's a built-in kind of urgency into it. I make merch that I would want to wear. You know what I mean? I'm wearing merch right now. Like this is A's Alters merch, who's a friend of mine. I wear my merch stuff sometimes when I get samples and stuff. And even the merch I've made recently, I've just refreshed my shop with some new stuff, and it's just things I want to wear or things that people ask for. And then, the cool thing with merch is it can sit up on the store. You're never going to get complaints about having too much, but you will get complaints about having not enough. And so I always kind of put enough stuff up there that there's always something to search through. And then every 6 months or so, just kind of refresh the shop, see what's in there, make some new stuff. And that creates its own kind of like exclusivity because I don't keep everything up forever.
Interesting. Well, definitely didn't point me in a direction because I still don't know which one to pick, to be honest. Because, it seems like you need both of them. You
Mhm.
can't have a select one item and not have a variety.
Mhm.
But then again, our variety with even just the amount of users we have currently is a lot. Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
store with a few hundred items maybe too much. And then just like you said about wanting to wear it, yeah, I don't want cruddy merchandise. That's one reason I've been on the back fence of it is I want to find a really good manufacturer. I want, clothing I would personally wear myself and be
Mm-hmm.
happy with. I don't want to just sell branding.
Merch is tough. You got to like order samples and try it out and wear it for a while and see how it is. It's definitely like an ongoing thing. But I think merch is probably the strongest way for people to support you. And if you have something that people like, then that's an easy way for them to show support. And it's free advertising when people wear your merch.
Absolutely. It's a real kind of closed loop circle on how that
Mhm.
works with it. But definitely we'll take some more time. That feature is going to take us definitely a few more weeks as we brainstorm, we get the samples, we test it out, we think on what direction we're going to really go with it, right? Um so that's all fantastic to hear. We got some amazing music out on the platform, and we're going to be going live tonight on Bone Man at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's been a pleasure having everyone here for the Vibe Engineers. I think this is episode 4, 5. This is 5, right, homies? 5. This is number 5. Jeez. So I want to thank everyone again for being here. People watching within our lives, people that are watching within our recordings and the replay of this. Thank you so much for all the support. We look forward to connecting with every single one of you and developing this new platform with the community as well. Feel free to drop us any type of information. We're all ears. We're easy to communicate with. And we look forward to navigating this landscape with every single one of you. And thank you again, Blacklight, for coming in and sharing all your experience with our audience. Absolutely
Totally. Thanks,
loved
guys.
it.
for having
You,
Thank you.
you might
Yeah.
have created
Thank
multiple monsters tonight. So
you.
FYI.
Whoop,
Um,
whoop.
you don't know what you might have done by doing this. So
That's all right.
tidal waves happen. I definitely done
Roll
it
them
before.
bones, buddy. Roll them bones.
Oh,
I mean, you never know. We may be seeing a Carnival of Souls bobblehead collection coming into play in the future. We never know.
You might be the next Labubu. It could be. You never know. Crazier things have happened. All right, everyone. I'm gonna see everyone at tonight's show. So you know what time it is. It's Saturday. It's time for you to go chill out, go grab a drink, get to that Suno, start creating that music. Start creating music that comes from your soul, from your experience. Rip out your heart, smash it with a hammer, feed it into Suno, EQ that song out, homies. EQ it out. Every single layer needs to be EQ'd out. Get something special ready for tonight. That line is already growing. Get it submitted to the website. And then we're going to see everyone at 7 p.m. tonight to jam out with every single one of us. Thank you again. Have a great night, everyone.
cool. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Thank you.